Welcome. The purpose of this video is to share with you tips and steps to help make your congressional meeting successful. Before you get to the Hill, in preparing for your meeting, it is best to anticipate that the person will know little about you or what your firm does. Expect that the congressional member or staff will know even less about your issues than they know about you or your company. Assume that they will not know the politics surrounding your issue. Understand that their time and attention are consumed with myriad issues, meetings, and obligations. They will not take the time to learn about your issue unless you motivate them. Expect that they will only have 10 to 15 minutes to listen to what you have to say. Given the constraints, how can you prepare ahead of time to get the most out of your brief time in Washington? Be prepared. Key issue. Choose the topics you will address with members and staff beforehand. 1 to 3 issues is usually the most that can be addressed in any one meeting. Remember, with all the issues members' staff cover, you probably have 15 minutes or less to get your full message across. One size does not fit all. Tailor the topics you choose and how you address them to individual offices. Differences in the member staff's familiarity with the issue, geographic base, committee assignments, and seniority may all have an impact on how a particular issue should be framed. Also, familiarize yourself with a member's general background, as this will also impact their stance on issues. Keep messages short, memorable, and precise. You are likely teaching the member or staff about an issue she or he has not heard about or looked into in depth in the past. You want them to remember your message and take it to heart, while also being cognizant of the fact that they will not be able to absorb all the information you may want to convey. Be prepared, the team. Keep it small. Remember, in most cases you will be meeting with a single staffer, so it is important not to overwhelm them. Choose your team carefully. Keep in mind each team member's background. Are they a constituent of the member? Are they an expert on the issue? Do they know the member or staff personally? These are elements that can be important in winning support for your position. Be prepared. Materials. Use them appropriately. If you have materials to show during the meeting, be sure they can be covered in a timely manner and don't cut into discussion time you may need to convey your full message. Also, be sure to tell staff about any videos or presentations, etc. ahead of time to prepare them for the possibility. Leave-behinds. Since you will have limited time to convey your message, detailed information, facts, or statistics may best be presented in a folder or brochure that you can leave with staff to review after the meeting. Likewise, if you screen a video or give a presentation, it is helpful to be able to leave a copy of the material with a staffer when possible. The meeting.
Hi, I'm Beth Herzog with the National Groundwater Association. This is my colleague Tim Parker. We're going to see Senator Andres.
Thank you. If you'll just take a seat, I'll make a call.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Price, with Senator's aide.
Hi, Beth Herzog, National Groundwater Association.
Nice to meet you, Beth.
Nice to meet you too.
Tim Parker, National Groundwater Association.
Nice to meet you, Tim.
Pleasure to meet you.
We really appreciate you taking time. I know this is a busy time in Washington, D.C., so it's great that you have time to meet with us.
No problem. Come on back to see the Senator.
Thank you.
Make sure to clearly introduce all team members to the member or staff, and be sure to thank them up front for taking time to meet. These staffers will likely be your primary points of contact for future interaction with member offices, so it is important that their first impression of you is favorable.
Well, good morning. Thank you for coming in to see us today. What can we do to help you?
Thank you, Senator. We're members of the National Groundwater Association. I'm Beth Herzog, and I work for the State Geological Survey.
Great. Thank you. Hi, Beth.
And I'm Tim Parker. I'm a consultant. I work for Parker Groundwater myself.
Oh, great. Hey.
The National Groundwater Association has about 13,000 members. We represent all parts of the groundwater industry, from the contractors who drill the wells, the manufacturers and suppliers of equipment, to the scientists and engineers who design the equipment and remediation and do the mapping. That those scientists and engineers work for government at all levels, and consultants and private industry. So anytime we come up with a position, we have to have it well vetted throughout the industry. Okay. And our mission is to be the source of groundwater knowledge for the nation.
In many cases, members or staff may be unfamiliar with NGWA or what we do. It is helpful in most cases then to briefly outline the organization's scope and say what team members do directly in relation to NGWA. This is also your opportunity to convince the member or staffer to support you, both as an individual and to support NGWA. So emphasizing elements of your or our work that is directly applicable to the member's past experiences or support or to their district are good tactics. In addressing your specific issue, try to emphasize why and how the issue impacts you directly. The best way to motivate members or staff to look carefully at an issue is to show them that it has direct impact on their constituents. Throughout this process, remember the meeting should flow more like a discussion than a presentation, so try to ensure the member or staffer stays involved. Finally, remember that even when meeting with junior staff, these individuals inform the policy decisions made by their bosses. In many cases, winning over the staffer can win the support of the member, and even when winning the staffer's support is not crucial, you cannot afford their opposition to your issue. Staff will continue to be your connection and ear to the ground in the member's office in the future, so establishing a good relationship is key.
We have 2 issues we'd like to talk to you about. I'm going to talk to you about geothermal heat pumps, and Tim will be talking to you about the National Groundwater Monitoring Network. Geothermal heat pumps are a source of heating and cooling for industries, businesses, and homes. I have one of these in my home. They are frequently confused with high-temperature geothermal systems, like is thinking of geysers that are only applicable to parts of the country, whereas geothermal industry can be used anywhere. If you use it just for heating, it can save up to about 44% of your energy, and if you use it for heating and cooling, it can save up to 72%. So it's really a nice green industry. It's been very helpful it can be very helpful in reducing our dependence on foreign energy and making the U.S. more energy independent. Last year, Congress enacted a tax credit for geothermal energy of $2,000. This year, under the stimulus package, that went up to no cap. It's 30% of the cost was in the tax credit. We think that's wonderful. We've heard back from members that it's really helped their businesses because it's allowed the contractors to expand into a new area. The industry is booming because it is so energy efficient. It saves so much energy that it's very popular, especially in new construction. We've really appreciated your support in the past, and we'd like you to continue to support this energy technology as new bills come up and different technologies are considered. I hope you can continue to support geothermal energy. My card is here if you've got any questions. This is the card of our association, so either one of us will be a great contact for you.
Well, I was supportive of this last year, and I know the Congress is going to be considering various energy bills over the next year or so, and let me talk to Mike and review your materials, and we'll try to be helpful.
Remember to always have an ask for the end of the meeting or each issue. You are there to accomplish a specific goal, and it can sometimes be easy to get caught up in the conversation, forgetting the end request.
So what was the second issue that you wanted to talk with us about today?
That's the National Groundwater Monitoring Network. And as you know, in California, 12 million people rely on groundwater as their sole source of drinking water. And groundwater gets relied on up to 30% in the wetter years and 40 to 50 to 60% or more, depending on where you are, in dry years for water supply. And recently, with the Delta cutbacks, groundwater is going to be relied on more in the future. We know the Delta is ineffective as a water conveyance and a reservoir, so there's just going to, I think, continue to be cutbacks on that, all meaning that we're going to rely more on groundwater. I, along with other professionals in the industry, work to protect, provide water, groundwater as a source of drinking water, and however, you can't manage groundwater unless you measure it. And it's kind of like a bank account. So you have to put money in and you take money out, and if you take more out than you put in, you have an overdraft problem. The same thing applies for groundwater, is if you're taking more out than you're putting in, groundwater levels go down and you have an overdraft, and you need to make sure you know this and measure it and take actions to help maintain a good supply of water. So recently, California passed legislation for groundwater monitoring, requiring that all basins be monitored for groundwater levels statewide. That's part of the Delta package. And on a national level, the Public Lands Act was passed last year, which requires the USGS develop a national groundwater monitoring network. This is a cooperative, collaborative effort working with the state and local agencies to access that groundwater level information. And so federal, state, academics, and private consultants have been working collaboratively under the Advisory Committee on Water Information Subcommittee on Groundwater to develop this document called the Framework for a National Groundwater Monitoring Network. And that lays out how this National Groundwater Monitoring Network would be put together. And this information, to bring it back to California, this can act as a model, actually, to help California put its groundwater monitoring network together in a similar fashion. And we're asking that you help provide support for funding for this 2011 fiscal year in the USGS Groundwater Resources Program. And by the way, that funding goes to the federal government, but it will also be distributed, some of that money will be distributed to the state, so it may be an opportunity for California to get some resources for its own monitoring program. And as Bev's pulled out a joint letter supporting this effort and is showing you the different stakeholders that have signed on to a letter of support for it.
Great. Well, you know, both of these issues, promoting green technologies and water in the state of California in particular, if there's some way that we can get resources back to the state of California, are vitally important. So this is great. Let us take a look at your materials. Please keep in touch with our office through Mike, and we very much appreciate you coming in today to see us.
Thank you. We'll leave all this material with Mike and with you, and again, our contact information is here. Contact us anytime. We're very good at getting back to you.
Great, Beth. Thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Tim, thank you for coming in.
Oh, thank you for your time, Senator.
Okay, thank you.
Please follow me, I'll show you out. Well, thank you for your presentation today.
Well, we really appreciate your time, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us, and we'll follow up with you on those issues we discussed.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. We really want to be your groundwater resources, and we really look forward to having a good relationship with the Senator and you.
Thank you. Call our office anytime.
We will. Thank you.
Reiterating your appreciation for the member or staffer's time ends the meeting on a high note. Leaving materials behind can help you cover more nuanced details of the issue than you had time to address face-to-face. Always have or make a reason to follow up on the same issue once you have left the office. Even something as simple as another thank you emailed to the staffer can help build that crucial relationship. If you can't personally provide specific information requested, however, do not commit to send it. Do commit to speak to others in NGWA or partner groups who could provide the information, though, and notify staff about progress on their requests. Members or staff can help you achieve your goals, so it is important for them to feel that you can also be available to help them achieve theirs. If your issue really resonates with a member or staff or is high on the lawmaker's agenda, you may be requested to stay beyond the scheduled meeting time or to hold a follow-up meeting with additional staff. Take advantage of these opportunities whenever possible, as it gives us the possibility of building a network of long-term supporters for your issue and similar issues in the future. Key points to keep in mind. Always be appreciative of the time members or staff take to meet. You are likely to be the expert on the issue. Get to your point quickly, and be sure you make it stick. Winning staff can be just as important as winning the member support. Build relationships. The meeting is not a one-shot deal. Just as members or staff are useful to you, try to be useful to them as well. For more information about National Groundwater Association or this video, contact Chris Reimer.